Welcome back to Second and Short. It is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. We are a week away, as me and Luke are recording, from the day that most people really like. One of my favorite holidays of the year, Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
You got a full slate of
Football,
football, you got food, you got family.
family.
All three F's that I prefer in life. The three necessary F's in life: food, family, football, all come together on Thanksgiving. We got NFL Week 12. Before we get there, though, it is underway as you guys hear this Thursday Night Football between the Steelers and Browns. So Luke has certainly got something to pay attention to after this is over. We got MLB offseason still
Chugging
going
along very slowly.
It's progressing is the case. Haven't really seen much. I think the Cubs made a trade for like a middle relief guy. I don't even know. The Premier League returns this weekend. Champions League is back next week. So soccer is back in action after the international break. Luke, how you doing? We're about to get into we're about to wrap up semesters at college. I just thought about this. I'm 3 weeks from graduation.
Yay.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And then, of course, Thanksgiving this coming week. We've got a big day next Wednesday that we're about to talk about. But how are you feeling?
Feeling great. We had a nice chilly day
Oh, it was
in
awesome.
Georgia. It was really good. I woke up and it was like 39 degrees
Yep.
outside. So I brought out the Patagucci for today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice weather. A very happy day on campus. I had a lot of my like last class meetings today. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Nice.
Good day.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
the thing I was talking about that'll be happening next Wednesday is Second and Short Live. This won't be a third and long stream because it's a little bit different format, but I'm just going to call it Second and Short Live. There's no Friday episode next week. Obviously, we got Thanksgiving going on. I'm going out of town on Friday, so can't do an episode for Friday, but we will do a combination live stream. So no college football show next week, no Friday episode of the podcast, but what you will get is a live stream on Wednesday. I believe we're going to go with 4 p.m. That seems to be the time that'll work for everybody. So lock it in Wednesday, 4 p.m. Me, Luke, and Colin all together in studio, right here in the studio. All three of us probably on the couch. I think I'll bring the couch in here. We'll all chill. And we will cover everything we talk about on Fridays, everything we talk about in the college football show. So we got NFL Week 13, college football rivalry week. We'll have some brief discussion on Premier League, Champions League coverage as well. So make sure you guys subscribed right here on the YouTube because that's how you get the notifications when we go live. And then you can hop in, join us, join the conversation. We're definitely, because it's going to be live, we'll be kind of turning to the audience every now and then to get your opinions. We'll have Ethan in here producing. Nathan's not available, so we will have Ethan here. He'll be reading off questions that we get in the chat. So a lot to look forward to on that live stream. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Stay up to date with everything we've got going on at Second and Short. We're going to be promoting everything. If that time does change, you'll know about it first if you follow us on Instagram. And make sure you join the subreddit. If you can't make it to the stream, I know obviously not everybody's going to be free next Wednesday at 4 p.m. and you want to still ask some questions for us, post them on the Reddit in advance. We will go through the Reddit and answer any questions you guys leave there as well. So got a lot to look forward to. So no Friday episode next week, no college football show next week, but you can catch us right here on the Second and Short YouTube live on Wednesday afternoon. How are you feeling about it, Luke? I'm excited.
Oh yeah, the live streams are always so much fun. I remember the last live stream that I was on was over the summer where we played video games or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was just we ran into some issues. Well, I ran into some issues with editing the baseball video, and I wasn't going to be able to get a video out that week. And I was like, all right, we'll make it up to you guys. We'll go live. And I think we went live for like 4 or 5 hours, and that was a painful one to get through. Because I just totally went into it with no idea what I was going to do. So that one was tough, but it was still a blast. Obviously, the most notable live streams that we have here is the draft night live stream.
Yep.
So a lot to look forward to.
Good luck with our live streams.
Yeah. The third and long was phenomenal. Need to look at the Monday Night Football schedule and see when the next time is that I can get all the guys here again, because that was a blast. Honestly, this coming Monday looks great, but I don't think we're gonna have time for that. All right. Well, we'll quit dilly dallying here. We got NFL Week 12 to talk about. Got some MLB offseason news that we'll go over. Obviously, not much to talk about there. We are going to talk about the awards that have all come out. Obviously, right now as we're recording, we don't know the MVPs yet. We know the MVPs.
We know the
It's
MVPs. Yeah.
pretty obvious who's going to win those awards, but we'll go through some of those awards as well during that MLB offseason discussion. Then we will hit on the Premier League, Champions League Matchday 5. And then we haven't gotten questions from Nathan. This one's probably on me because I didn't even think about texting him at all this whole day. So we might just do our, probably like once a month music discussion just to fill that time, maybe. We'll see. We'll figure something out when we get there. But for now, let's go ahead and get into NFL Week 12. Got some good matchups. It's a weird week because this is the first of 2 weeks this season with 6 teams on bye.
Mm.
And obviously, they do the 6 teams on bye because they typically do 4 teams a week, but Thanksgiving week, everybody plays. So week 12 and week 14, we will have 6 teams on bye. So somehow that has led to a lot of games that just don't look great. I don't know what happened. There is a lot of good teams on bye, but yeah, we'll just start off with Thursday Night Football. Steelers 3.5-point favorites on the road, taking on the Cleveland Browns. 8-2,
I'm
right? Are you guys 8-2?
yeah, 8-2.
Yeah, 8-2 versus 2-8.
I'm fairly excited about this one, especially after that win against Baltimore. The Steelers look really good, Grayson.
Yeah, defense looks
Steelers
phenomenal.
look really, really good. Yeah, and I mean, even the offense against the Ravens, like they were getting good pressure on Russ, so that kind of stumped things a little bit. But the second half, I would say that we came alive, and that's kind of what helped us close out the game.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can't
really.
stand that you guys have 2 wins where you scored 18 points all off Chris Boswell field goals.
Yeah, and he actually holds the NFL record for most games with 6 field goals as well.
Yeah, bothers me.
Yeah.
You should have a cap. You should only be allowed to kick like 5 field goals in a game.
Nah, man, let the leg go. Let the leg go. But yeah, super excited about this game. It always gets weird against Cleveland though, and especially
Yeah.
like I don't know, something about Jameis being back there too. It's
Man,
just weird.
Jameis has been trying, bro. Like 2 weeks ago, it wasn't great. Like that first start he had was awesome. Second start, not so much. Last week, he tried his hardest to beat the Saints. He really did.
Yeah, he did.
And they just still
Sure
could
did.
not figure it out. But yeah, I like what the Browns have to offer on like just watching them play. At least with Jameis at quarterback, it's a little bit fun. Nick Chubb still hasn't gotten anything going yet, which kind of sucks. But Pittsburgh has been fun to watch. Last week, I wouldn't say they were not fun to watch as an offense because, like you said, like they could still, they were still making things happen. They just weren't scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was just that the Ravens' defense looked pretty good. But I do think that the Steelers can come out and have a good offensive showing, and I'm sure the Browns will do something well in this game. I just don't think it's going to be nearly as close as some might think. Just because it's an AFC North matchup doesn't mean this one's going to be close.
Yeah. I mean, we will definitely see, that's for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and give a score prediction though for the
Yeah.
Steelers and Browns game. I'm gonna take the Steelers 24-6 over
Okay.
Cleveland.
I really like that, but I'm gonna go 21-6 Steelers.
You don't think Boswell's gonna kick a field goal, or
I
you
don't
think
know.
he's gonna kick 7? He might kick 7.
He might kick 7. It's one of the two. Either he's not kicking 1 or he's kicking 7. There's no in between. All right.
How
Well,
about,
you
did
guys.
you
Go ahead.
real quick? Did you see Justin Fields getting out there and active against Baltimore?
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. That
I
was
didn't
interesting.
expect that, but he ended up working out like perfectly in
Yeah.
the 2 plays that we brought him in for. So I
Yeah.
appreciated that.
So obviously you guys know what the score is, so feel free to comment how wrong we were.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we'll move over to Sunday. Got Vikings Bears to start off. Vikings 3.5-point favorites on the road. The Bears are weird. And by weird I mean bad. I can't figure them out. Like how do you
Weirdly
get
bad.
how do you get blown out a couple weeks ago, and then almost beat the Packers, except the field goal gets blown. Okay, you get blown out by the Cardinals, 29-9. Then you lose 19-3 to the Patriots, and all of a sudden you decide, all right, let's play some football against the Packers, and it comes down to you guys missing a field goal to lose the game. How does that even happen?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't miss.
I have
It,
no
it got
idea.
hit, but still, Vikings are also interesting at the moment because they just, I don't know, their wins haven't been impressive. The offense looks really weird. Seems like Aaron Jones isn't 100% healthy. They're certainly not giving him the ball like he is. I know he's been banged up since like that Colts game. It's just, I don't know what's going on. Darnold has certainly taken a bit of a step back since the beginning of the season, but I can't really explain why. I don't know what's really changed with that team that has made it happen, but their offense has just been so boring since that, like after that Lions game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like the Vikings are 3 wins in a row, I believe, but the
Yes.
wins have been super weird, super just like not very good wins. I think it's fair to say.
No, not at all.
And it kind of has me like leading in to believe like it's an NFC North matchup. The Bears have a really good defense, and they didn't really look that bad against the Packers last week. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking the Bears could squeak this one.
Yeah, I
I mean, the
mean,
Vikings got to be careful. Chicago still, I think.
definitely. I think with the
Yeah.
Packers, they maybe played themselves out of that game a little bit. Like, Jordan Love didn't look great in that first half, and then Caleb really stepped up and looked pretty good in that game. I'll give him that credit. Um, but the Packers' defense was, I would say, just fine. It was one of their worst performances, I would say, of the season. Um, Whereas the Vikings, the defense has been there the whole time. Defense has been great all season. It's just when the offense isn't there, can they score enough to still win? Because, yeah,
Exactly.
like against a pretty good or competent offense, they're probably going to give up, 14 points, 17 points. But sometimes that offense is just that bad that they might not score enough to win those games. And
Yeah.
you can't have that against the Bears. You need the offense to be firing because you're not going to get a ton of chances to score points.
Yeah, and especially, with the Bears defense and the Vikings offense kind of wavering, we could have a lot of situations where the Bears are going to have good field position to where
Yeah.
their bad offense can maybe still put up some points. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction here. I'm going to take oh shit, Grayson. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears,
Ooh.
and this is a vibe pick. I'm going to go like 19-16.
Okay, I'm going to go with a similar outcome to last week for the Bears. I'm going to go Vikings 21, Bears 17. So pretty close game. I do think the Vikings will pull away with it, though.
Okay.
All right, next game, Lions Colts. Lions 7-point favorites on the road, but we're looking at a big total right here. 49.5 is the total.
Whoa.
I believe that's the biggest total of the week by, nope, it is not. Monday Night Football, 50.5 Ravens Chargers. But biggest total for Sunday, Lions Colts. What are we thinking here? I know Anthony Richardson looked damn good last week against the Jets. I will give him that credit. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's things to be desired, certainly, out of this Colts team that we're just still not seeing. And the Lions are just, not only an unstoppable force, but also an immovable object.
Dude, the Lions have put up 1,000 points in like the past 5 weeks.
It's unbelievable. Like, they
Like,
will not stop scoring points. They won't stop winning games. Like, dude, yeah, if you go back, let's say, go back to that Cowboys win, 47-9. Then you go 31-29 over the Vikings, 52-14 against the Titans, 24-14 against the Packers, 26-23 against the Texans, 52-6 over the Jags.
and over 600 yards of offense.
Yeah, like the thing is, they've only been held under 20 points one time this season. And it was that loss to the Buccaneers early
Yeah.
week 2 of this season. Probably the
Uh-huh.
best team in the NFL, if not certainly the best team in the NFL right now. Their only loss is to a Buccaneers team that is like, what, 500?
Yeah, and the Buccaneers have competed with every good team that they've played against this season, even despite not having their wide receivers
Yeah.
in some of those games. So,
Which we'll talk about that, but Mike Evans and Tristan Wirfs, both limited participants yesterday at practice.
oh, big deal.
Yeah. But let's talk about Lions
Yeah,
Colts. What are we thinking here? I feel like, it's not really a matter of who wins, but by how much.
yeah,
The
yeah.
7-point favorite
Um,
on the road is sizable.
listen, the Colts, they don't have a consistent enough quarterback to beat the Lions.
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor also hasn't been consistent enough to beat the Lions. And their defense is just going to get thrown in a garbage can in this game. This is going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%. I don't see how Anthony Richardson is going to have a good game against the Lions. I think Jonathan Taylor could. Um, but yeah, I'm honestly ready to go ahead and give a score prediction here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to take the Lions 38, Colts 20.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think so. From the reports I'm seeing, Laporta's back and healthy. He was a full participant at practice yesterday.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with the Lions, of course, but I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 31-14. Lions 31-14.
All right.
Next game, Patriots Dolphins. Dolphins 7.5-point favorites at home. Seems like things are starting to get back to normal a little bit. We're still not seeing the big yardage out of this team that we're used to, but seems like some things have turned their way. 23-15 over the Rams. Then you get 34-19 over a Raiders team that is the team to beat right now, because if you need help, they're the team that's going to give you some confidence. Um,
Yeah.
and the Dolphins just continue to kind of start getting things back on track. I'll say that. I wouldn't say they're rolling
Dude,
yet, but they're getting back on
how
track.
about how about the tight ends in the Dolphins
Yeah.
Raiders game? Jonnu Smith, nuclear. Brock Bowers
Unbelievable.
just exploded.
Yeah. Shout out to you for beating me without starting Johnny Smith.
Um, yeah, you're right. I started Jonnu Smith in another league and lost in that one. So I think the key was
Nice.
not starting Jonnu Smith whenever he goes ape shit.
Yeah. Props to you. I'm probably going to
It's
lose again this
kind of
week because the Bengals and the Falcons are on bye, so I'm missing Jamar Chase, Drake London, and Chase Brown.
that's tough.
Yeah. Brutal.
That's tough.
Yeah. Pretty
And
tough.
then on the Patriots side, kind of like with what the Cardinals had last season when Kyler came back, the blueprint is present.
Yes.
The
Oh, yeah. It's
blueprint is
all
there.
there for the Patriots to win some games.
It
Just
is.
hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Rams are highly underrated. I don't think five
Agreed.
and five is really a good testament to the talent
They're a
that they
little
have
all
on
over
their
the place. I
team.
think they're definitely missing in consistency.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, like Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup both went off against the Patriots, which isn't really
Yeah.
something I would expect for that Patriots defense. So I don't know. Maybe the other wide receiver duo of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can get some stuff going there. But then again, like since Tua got hurt and has come back, they just have not looked anything like they were, last
No.
season or before Tua got hurt this season. It's just been Miami's a really weird team this year.
Yeah, they're
Super
they're
weird team.
super weird. I don't want to start pointing the finger yet, but is this a Mike McDaniel problem?
Uh
I know a lot. I get that a lot of people. I think more than like people questioning his job. I think a lot of people just question him as a coach in general. Seems like he's just not the traditional NFL coach people expect, and it makes
definitely
people
not.
not like him. Whether he's doing
Yeah.
a good job or not, I think people just are a little bit biased against him because he's not like a normal. Like it doesn't seem like he.
He's a very alternative head
Yeah,
coach.
he seems too friendly. He seems like too nice of a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Too nice of a guy.
I don't
Too
see
cool
him.
of a guy as
Yeah,
well.
he doesn't. He keeps his composure very well on the sidelines, and it almost
Yeah.
bothers me. I feel like how NFL head coach needs to have something that just like go like they have to freak out about something. Like Sean McVay loses his mind on like every play. Like I'm thinking like even like the young head coaches, because we've definitely seen a shift in what the head coach in the NFL even acts like or looks like on the sidelines. Mike McDaniel just doesn't follow any of these patterns whatsoever,
Mm-mm. Not at all.
which is
No.
interesting to me, and I think is why some people are starting to question him. But you got to give the guy credit and cut him a little bit of slack. The issues that he's run into with this team, injury wise, and with Tua and with what he walked into after Brian Flores got fired for a winning season, and then Brian Flores took legal action against the team. What Mike McDaniel walked into was a shithole, and he's turned it into this, which is great. I'll give him that credit. But back to this game. I think the Patriots can be competitive with almost anybody. I think probably 20 teams in the league that the Patriots could at least look okay against. But they just can't win. I think Drake May is good enough to keep them in games, and he's not quite there yet to be the game changer.
Yeah, completely agree.
What are we thinking final score-wise in this game?
24-20 Miami.
Wow, okay. So a pretty close one. I'm going to go 28-20 Miami.
Okay.
Okay, next game, Buccaneers-Giants. Not great. Not a good one. Daniel Jones got benched. We haven't gotten to mention that on the podcast yet. Daniel Jones was benched on Monday. They were on bye last week. Tommy DeVito will be stepping straight into the starting role. Drew Lock is the backup. And actually, Daniel Jones is behind Tim Boyle on the depth chart, who is the practice squad quarterback. So it's safe to say Daniel Jones is done in New York. If I had to guess, at the end of the year, they're going to cut him and just have to eat the, I think, $80 million remaining on his contract.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of money to do nothing right now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of fucking money to do nothing.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but I did see a tweet. It probably was a joke saying that he was scout team safety today at practice.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
So I don't know if that was true or not, but if it is, oh man.
It doesn't get much worse than that, does it?
No. And look, the thing is like I feel so bad for Tyrone Tracy and Malik Neighbors, Wanda Robinson, even like if Tommy DeVito comes out and plays like shit, like I would anticipate he will do, they're the ones that get unlucky in this situation.
Yeah.
If Malik Neighbors had a even halfway decent quarterback, imagine the numbers he would be putting up right now. He's already putting up good numbers. Last couple of weeks, he's definitely fallen off. Since like the concussion, really, he's fallen off. But if he had some great quarterback play, my God, would he be having one of the best rookie years maybe ever for a wide receiver.
I think you're exactly right. Yeah, Malik Neighbors is a total dog, and he was even a dog with Daniel Jones. I mean, that's the best he's looked so
61
far.
receptions, 607, 3 touchdowns this season for him.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, with Daniel Jones.
With Daniel Jones. And on the Buccaneers side, obviously you said that Mike Evans is limited at practice, so we'll have to monitor that because it's been all Rachaad White and Bucky Irving and Baker Mayfield throwing the ball like 2 yards down the field. But they've been sufficing like that. Like they still have not been that bad. And Kate Otton's always good here and there for, ridiculous game. And I also like their defense as well. I feel like the Buccaneers have a pretty solid, experienced defense. They have for pretty much the whole time we've been doing this podcast. So, this one I think is going to be interesting. I don't know if it probably won't be close.
No, probably not. I don't know what we'll see from Tommy DeVito, really.
Yeah.
I can't expect much, but it might be fine.
Just kind of looking forward, it's always, I don't care if you're a Cowboys fan or not, you can hate them, you can love them. It's always awesome to see them play on Thanksgiving this year. Or sorry, Thanksgiving, in general. But this year it's going to be Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito, baby.
Oh, man. I would love to say I'm not going to watch that game. I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it too.
Unfortunately, I will be watching that game. Buccaneers expecting to have Mike Evans back. He was limited on Wednesday. They're saying he's expected to be back. Bucky Irving, full participant at practice on Wednesday, so he'll be back. Giants side, Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau are coming out of the bye week limited at practice on Wednesday. That's not good either.
No.
If Baker doesn't have to deal with Dexter Lawrence this week, give me the Bucs by like 30. If
Yeah.
it's just Brian Burns that they have to deal with, then I think they can live. But, the Buccaneers have dealt with that before. They've faced just Brian Burns on a defense before.
Yeah.
I'm thinking final score-wise, I'm going to go Buccaneers 31, Giants 9.
I'm going to go 24-0 Buccaneers.
Oh, shit. Okay, we're getting a shutout. I love that.
We're getting a shutout. Yeah.
Love that. Okay, next game.
I hope so
Oh,
too,
go ahead.
because like to be honest with you, I don't know. I think you just keep starting Daniel Jones if I'm being honest.
Yeah, or give Drew Lock some love. How is he not the one that steps in?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I don't
Bringing
get.
out the Italian, man.
I guess. You can ask the Cowboys. The Italian third stringer is not good. Ben DiNucci didn't work for them.
Ben DiNucci.
Okay,
That's
next game.
hilarious.
Cowboys Commanders. Another just...
Stinker.
It's not really a question of who's going to win, but by how much. The Commanders are a 10-point favorite at home. Still Cooper Rush and Rico Dowdle running the show in Dallas.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
5 losses in a row.
Like, yeah, what are we supposed to get here out of the Cowboys? That Texans game was pitiful. Cooper Rush tried.
Out of the Cowboys. Yeah, no, I've kind of thought, like at halftime it didn't really look that bad,
No.
17-10. And that's one thing that I will give Cooper Rush respect for is he's kind of one of those like backups that we talk about on the podcast where he doesn't really play with fear.
No.
He's going to sling it regardless, which is what you want.
Yeah, I think the big thing was that like this week was the first week where they geared the playbook to him. You can tell they took the time to be like, okay, Cooper's going to pass the ball. Like Rico Dowdle, I think, carried the ball maybe 14 times, like max. And he didn't get like any yards. He got like 28 yards or something. But Cooper Rush throws the ball pretty well, and like he can throw the deep ball if you want him to. But it seemed like they were still kind of playing in an offense where Dak Prescott would have thrived, which is like medium passes, throws over the middle, things of that nature, which aren't necessarily what Cooper Rush does well. And that's why, like, in these games he has looked really bad. It's because he's like throwing picks and not, perfectly timing his passes over the middle, which it takes an experienced quarterback to be able to do.
It like for me, for the Cowboys, it all comes back to the offseason. Now, I bet more than ever you wish you had a running back.
Yeah.
But you don't. And you decided not to. In what world could you ever be comfortable with Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott signing back with the team? It genuinely blows my mind.
Maybe they knew that Ashton Jinty was coming through. Maybe they knew that they should tank for Ashton Jinty.
Jerry Jones is a fucking idiot.
I can't stand him. I can't.
And no, and this is literally in the first time of my life being an NFL fan where Jerry Jones needs to go. And I'm late to this discussion.
You're very late.
Like 2024.
Very late.
Like I'm very late, but like this is unbelievable. Like you have players talking about how they're the only team in the NFL that'll give stadium tours where people are banging on the glass while they're trying to work out. It's a fucking madhouse. And
it is.
The Cowboys, as prestigious as they are and how prestigious they think they are, they should at least try to act like it and own up to it. But I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the Cowboys. And the Commanders are just so much of a better team on the other side. I don't even care that the Commanders are coming off of 2 losses in a row. The Cowboys are finished.
It's also 2 incredibly difficult games that they played. Like, yeah, the Steelers is just a gritty divisional game every single time. And it was a closer game. And then the Eagles won. I don't really know how to explain that Eagles game. The Eagles just came correct, really. That's what they had to do if they wanted to win, and that's exactly what they did. The Commanders are going to look good. That's the way I'm seeing it. Is regardless of what happens, the Commanders will look good in this game. The Cowboys just don't have the offensive firepower to beat the Commanders. That's what it comes down to. I think the Cowboys might actually put some points up this week because I have not been impressed by anything the Commanders defense has done since probably Chicago. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the Cowboys might actually put up some points. So my final score, I'm gonna go Commanders 34, Cowboys 24.
I'm going to go Commanders 34, Cowboys 21.
Okay. Chiefs Panthers. Good God, it is a week of blowouts. Now Bryce Young has been playing with all the confidence in the world. I would love
Finally.
to still give him some credit. Don't forget about how good he looked in that game in London,
Yeah.
or in Germany. Sorry, but this is the Kansas City Chiefs, not the New York Giants. Yeah, Kansas City's a 10.5-point favorite on the road. The total right now is 42.5, so they don't even think the Panthers are going to score much. Like it's not looking good.
Did Bryce look good in the Munich game?
He was
Chuba
fine.
Hubbard out-yarded him.
Yes, no, I'm saying like Bryce played with confidence. Like, visually, he looked good, is what I'm saying, and like he was happy and he won a game. So credit to him.
Adam Thielen should be back this week as well. That
Ooh.
could be a real pin mover in this one, buddy. Let me tell you.
I doubt it.
It's not. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it was just cool that the Chiefs lost. That's pretty awesome.
I did love that.
Finally.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
And it was the Bills too. They finally got it. Bills finally did it to them.
Yeah, well, in the regular season, they've had no issues. It's the playoffs when it's really a problem.
And you're gonna call me crazy. It's a little bit on topic, sort of off topic. The Steelers right now could beat this Chiefs team.
Yeah, no. What's crazy is they're 9-1, and I think I'd probably say there's like 6 teams right now in the NFL that could beat them.
I was literally just about to say the same thing. I don't know if they'd be in my top 5.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think the thing
nobody
is
is
if you give the Ravens and the Bengals another shot, they probably beat this Chiefs team.
Okay, yeah.
And then obviously the Bills. Honestly, if you go through their schedule, there's probably teams that if they got another chance, they'd probably beat them right now.
Falcons? Well, maybe not right now.
Yeah, maybe not right now. I don't know about the Falcons right now, but the Chargers right now could. They lost by 7.
The Broncos could.
I think the Broncos could. They lost on a game-winning or a game-losing field goal.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
a lot of those. And
the
then
Raiders kept it
obviously
close,
the
too.
Lions could beat them. I think
Yeah.
the Texans could probably beat them right now. If Stephon Diggs was healthy, I would be a little more certain on that. But
yeah,
I
think the
Texans
Commanders could beat them?
The defense just isn't there. I think that's
Yeah.
my biggest pullback right now on the Commanders. The defense is just simply nowhere to be found.
Fair.
Okay, back to this game. What do we think of final scores?
Sorry.
There's not much discourse to have here. What do we think of final score was?
Chiefs 28, Panthers 10.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't know why. I just still feel like the Chiefs' offense doesn't impress me at all. I'm gonna go Chiefs 21, Panthers 7.
Okay.
All right, Titans Texans. Texans 7.5-point favorites at home. Another just brutal matchup. Oh man, Joe Mixon.
We're getting shit on.
Finally, I would say he got slowed down against the Lions. Of course, slowed down is an understatement. Limited 100% against the Lions. Only had 46 yards. Got that Cowboys game to just get himself right. Opened up that game unbelievably well and just kind of coasted throughout that game. Ended up with 3 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, don't worry, he didn't lose a step. He just had to play the Lions. CJ Stroud, he's got to be so glad Nico Collins is back.
Yeah.
Like Tank Dell did fine. Well, Stephon Diggs did fine until he went down. Tank Dell did his job. But damn, you got to be so happy that Nico Collins is back.
Oh, for sure. And Grayson, I would just like to come clean. You remember when we started this podcast and Joe Mixon was still a Bengal, and I was like,
yeah,
I just think he's not all that. He's just kind of an average
I've
running back. Well,
I've never gotten off the Joe Mixon train. You know that.
well, I bought a ticket. I have bought a ticket this season because now
Yeah.
that he's not a Bengal, I can finally say that could genuinely be like if this continues with the Texans. I know he's getting older. He could probably be like one of the better running backs of our lifetime and kind of be like one of those low key guys cuz like he
Yeah.
hadn't really had much playoff
I think
success. He's playing a Super Bowl,
I think he's just
but
been on the wrong team for it. He,
yeah.
obviously like he emerged as a very good running back with the Bengals once Joe Burrow was there.
Yeah.
It took a little while for him to get started in the league. And I think part of that, due to the things that happened in his draft process and the videos and whatnot,
Yeah.
I think that kind of just started him off on the wrong foot. Then he figured his things out, but he figured his things out in an offense with a guy who came into this team being known as like one of the best quarterbacks in college football history.
Yeah.
And then they already have a great wide receiver in T. Higgins. They then draft another wide receiver, a first rounder, Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon was never going to be the guy there. Like, I think right now, with how Joe Mixon's playing, if he were on a number of different teams, he could be a 2,000-yard rusher. The way that
Whoa.
he runs the ball right now with the Texans is amazing. But like Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards, 6 years ago or something? He was getting 30, 35 carries a game.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon's getting 20 to 26 probably on average, 20 to 25 every game. And he's going for like 100 plus just about every week. Like,
Yeah.
you
It's
can't
insane.
take that away from him. But the fact that he's doing it with CJ Stroud at quarterback now and Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs on his team is just more of a testament to be like, okay, this guy really just eats when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah.
He's really killing it.
No, I agree. And then I don't know. What can we even say about the Titans
Shout
team?
out to Will Levis for throwing a 98-yard passing touchdown to Nick Westbrook-Akine last week. Thank you for
Yeah,
helping
that was
nobody
pretty
in
sick.
fantasy.
Yeah, those are kind of those points that are just they're gone. No one got them.
Yeah.
Like anywhere, no one got 'em.
Longest play in the NFL since 2022, I believe. Or longest touchdown in the NFL since
Really?
2022 was that 98-yard
What was
touchdown.
the touchdown in
I don't know.
2022?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Not that it could be much.
Interesting.
It could only have been 1 yard longer. If so,
Yeah, true.
it's not
True.
that crazy, but I just like bringing that up because I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Like, it doesn't really
It's a cool
happen,
stat.
and it also was Will Levis and Nick Westbrook-Akine, so that also makes it funny.
Yeah.
What won't be funny is how bad the Titans lose by this week. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Tony Pollard's just not it. Is that fair to say?
I don't know because he had a really good start to the season.
He did, and I think he's been playing fine. I don't know if he's the guy. I think you need a better offense
Yeah,
around him to really tell. I think if you had
definitely.
some better quarterback play and some more consistency out of receivers that aren't Calvin Ridley, maybe you could say that with a little more conviction.
Yeah, and on top of that, like the Titans at halftime found themselves down to the Vikings like 16-3.
Yeah.
So and then the rest of the game kind of was like a 2 possession game. So they just weren't really, they were never in
Yeah.
it to be giving the ball to
Yeah.
Tony Pollard. But no, you're exactly right. I think he where he is useful is just kind of when he takes over the game and their offense by himself. But that's kind of rare with how horrible they are.
Yeah,
They're having
it's
to
interesting
throw back into games.
because I think he got more of those opportunities with the Cowboys. I think
Yeah.
they scored points so well that he was able to just take over on like the first, second, third drive of the game every week, and then they didn't need
Yeah.
him for the rest of the game. Like,
Exactly.
he did that so well in an offense that was really good. Now he's in a bad offense where you would think, okay, yeah, maybe he'll get the ball the first couple of drives, but the thing is by the third drive of the game or their third offensive drive, they're probably out of contention, or they're at least too far behind to be running the ball that early.
Exactly. Yep.
So he's kind of getting screwed. Let's talk final scores. I don't see a lot of points being scored here. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just because I don't think the Titans will hold up their end of the bargain. Um, but I'm gonna go Texans. Texans 21, Titans 13. I guess that is kind of
I'm gonna
close, but
go.
it shouldn't feel
Yeah,
that way.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Texans. Texans 20, Titans 6.
Okay,
I think I picked another 20-6 game earlier as well, so that'll be fun.
who cares?
Who fucking
I don't think
cares?
we ever get these predictions right.
I
And we
think
never
next
double
season
check
we
them.
should keep up with it. We should
Oh,
keep up with it
that's
next
your
season
job then.
and
I'm
see what
not
our
keeping
record
up with
is.
all that shit. We come up with these predictions off the top of our heads anyways.
Yeah, but it'd be fun just to see like point
Yeah.
differential and like wins and losses.
I
I think
will
that'd be
give
cool.
somebody $3 every time they keep track of it for us each week. And then yeah, you'll get $3. That's and then
Nice.
we'll keep track of it. All right, we've got 3 4 o'clock games. Once again, why? Just move one of these billion 1 o'clock games to 4 o'clock. I don't get it. Broncos Raiders 4:05. Broncos 6-point favorites on the road. Bo Nix is awesome. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it because I decided that while watching him kick the shit out of my team. But he's awesome.
Oh man.
Boy,
Yeah, Bo
I
Nix
was
is pretty
so
awesome.
wrong about him.
Me too.
I'll go ahead and
I did
say I
not
was
think this was
so
gonna
wrong.
happen.
So I thought we were going to see Jarrett Stidham by this point in the year.
Yeah.
He's damn
Damn, what a
good.
game against Atlanta.
And he's got a lot of just fine wide receivers. None of them are great.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton's good at times.
No.
But like Devon Vele shows up at random times in these games. And Marvin Mims
Troy
shows
Franklin
up.
gets a touchdown.
Troy Franklin scored a touchdown. I'm surprised he didn't drop it. Like
Yeah.
all these guys just randomly show up. They can't run the ball. Really
No.
at all. But Bo Nix can sling it, man. I
Yeah.
love it. I love watching him right now.
Yeah, he's fun, man. And I'm in the same boat as you. Like, just watching him in college, he just never was the most impressive. Not even
No.
close to being one of the most impressive
Even in his
quarterbacks. But
best years at Oregon, there was always somebody better to watch. Shit, there was two better guys to watch in his conference last year. In the Pac-12, you
Yeah.
had Michael Penix and Caleb Williams to watch. Bo Nix was the third
Yeah.
best Pac-12 quarterback.
I guess what we were maybe under, or not taking into account for was his coachability. And Sean
Yeah.
Payton has molded this kid. Are we watching baby Drew Brees? Is that what this is? Is this the
Maybe.
development of baby Drew Brees?
It could be. I don't know. We'll have to see because like obviously they're nowhere close to the same style of quarterback, but I get where you're coming from where it's just Sean Payton's guy.
Yeah.
I think Denver put themselves in a really odd position with how they handled Russell Wilson. And the fact that
Yeah.
this is what they've gotten out of it it's got to be 10 times better than what they anticipated.
Yeah.
Like you never would have guessed that this Broncos team, with how that Russell Wilson deal has been handled, how they're still paying it, they're still going to be paying that money,
Yeah.
that they would be in this position right now. But it's
incredible.
you've got to give it up to their draft process because this has been a hell of a draft class for them. And Bo Nix obviously the biggest part of it, but number of guys throughout this team that just get it done. And props to them for paying Pat Surtain because that's obviously worked out. He's looked great this season. The Broncos are doing everything right. The Raiders, Brock Bowers is doing everything right. Nobody else is. Even the defense sucks.
Yeah, and Alexander Madison is just such a weird player.
He's a waste of carries.
Yeah,
I'm so done with him.
Not a big fan of Alexander Madison.
I haven't been a fan of Alexander Madison ever because I was the guy that was drafting Dalvin Cook every year in fantasy. So whenever I had to see Alexander Madison, I was pissed. And I still am because I still think he's not good.
Dang, Alexander Madison is 26 years old. I feel like he should be a lot older.
Yeah, dude, I feel like he's been around way too long.
Yeah.
How has he
Is it
outlasted Dalvin Cook?
That's a very good point. Um, how is Max Crosby just kind of meh this year?
I think he's been hurt. Not like out, but like just injured.
Just banged up.
Yeah. I could be
Yeah.
wrong,
Well,
but
I don't
for
know.
some
He's
reason
been
I
playing
feel
like
like
a
he
fourth round draft pick this year.
hasn't played much. Let me see his
Um,
games. Go ahead though. You can talk. I'm just checking his stuff.
yeah, no. But you know how I feel about the Raiders, Grayson, is they make one or two, maybe three games a year pretty weird for some teams. And with this one being, an AFC West rivalry game, I'm kind of thinking the same for
Yeah.
this one. I think it might be a lot closer. I don't know if the Raiders are going to be able to get it done. It's good for them that Gardner Minshew is back to kind of being the starter,
Mhm.
but I don't know. We'll just have to see. Like, are the Broncos going to be able to win 3 games in a row,
I think they
or
can.
maybe? Sorry, no, they're off of. They lost to the Chiefs, so
Yes,
my bad.
but I do think they can win for sure. Um, Max Crosby's missed one game this season, and it was actually a game they won against the Browns. So,
One of their
yeah,
wins, one of
yeah,
their
one of
two
their wins. They
wins.
didn't have their best player. Yeah, look, I'm sure Brock Bowers will have like 80 plus yards and probably a touchdown. But the Broncos, I'm gonna take the Broncos 20 to 10.
Okay, I'm going to take the Broncos 20-13.
Okay. 49ers Packers. Brock Purdy's banged up, might not play this week. Is what I'm hearing. He was horrible last week. Absolutely horrible, Brock Purdy. Like maybe the worst I've watched him play in that game against the Seahawks. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. I'm just glad that I didn't hang on to Christian McCaffrey in fantasy because that
Yeah,
wouldn't have really helped me.
yeah. You definitely lucked out. Yeah, Purdy last week, he's 21 for 28, only 159, one touchdown, one interception. Biggest thing that I brought up on Monday's episode was that it just seems like he's just running around the pocket a lot. Even with Trent Williams back, like Trent Williams back for the first time in a couple weeks, still just running all over the place, and I don't really get why.
Yeah. Juwan Jennings should not be the best player on your offense,
No, I do believe George Kittle's back this week. But like
which will be
Debo
good.
got shut down. He didn't have Ayuk. Simply had nowhere else to go, and like McCaffrey just still hasn't quite ramped things up. He doesn't look the same, which I can't. I expected. I expected Christian McCaffrey to not just jump on the field and just immediately look great, but the way he runs doesn't look the same.
Yeah. No, he looks like he had to go to Germany to fuse his
Yeah,
leg
exactly.
back
He
together.
looks like he had double Achilles surgery. So yeah,
um,
the Packers are also weird. Jordan Love has not looked good for a number of weeks, I would say. At least not
yep.
as good as he looked for like the first half of the season. And the defense is odd, I guess. It's like how I would put it right now. They're not bad. Like they're not giving up a shitload of points, but like it's good enough to keep them in games. It's not good enough to have like a commanding victory.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I'm kind of leaning more towards Green Bay. I just
Yeah.
think they're good to score a hell of a lot better than the 49ers are, but they don't want to find themselves down like they were against the Bears because
Hmm.
they had to come back in that one. I mean, it was only by like 6 points, but still, like you don't want that to happen against the 49ers when they have Christian McCaffrey back who can just kind of run out games. Um but yeah, I think the Packers are more than talented to beat this kind of shaky 49ers team for sure.
I agree. I do think the Packers, they should be ashamed of this draft class. It has been
Yeah.
so bad. None of the guys that I thought would maybe step up or play even just a small role have really done much. It's been bad. I think Javon Bullard is getting some playing time at safety, but obviously Xavier McKinney is the dude. It's safety on that team. Um,
Yeah.
but like Jordan Morgan has been such a disappointment at offensive tackle. Big miss by them right there. Nobody else has made an impact. Like, it's crazy. They drafted what, like 10 players in this draft class? Nobody's
Yeah.
making an impact. Yeah, I'm still leaning the way
Same.
of the Packers, mainly because it's at home, outside, 44 degrees at Lambeau. I know we're supposed to get some wintry weather up that way. The end of this week into the weekend. I don't think it'll be snowing um, on that day in Green Bay, but I know we're supposed to see some wintry weather up there, so that could affect things as well. Um, I'm thinking Packers. I'm thinking a high score probably. I'll go Packers 27, 49ers 21.
I'm going to go Packers 27, 49ers 23.
Okay. Cardinals Seahawks, our final of the 4 o'clock slate. The Cardinals just a 1 point favorite
Ooh.
on the road at Lumen Field.
And the Cardinals have the favorite going into this game as well.
Yeah. Cardinals are hot,
And good for
man.
them.
Kyler's looked really good. I just I don't know if they can sustain it. They're coming off the bye. Before the bye, 2 straight phenomenal games. Shafted the Bears. Shafted the Jets. Go into the bye. I have to ask, how active was Kyler on Call of Duty this past week?
Oh, you know.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I need somebody to tell me what prestige is he already at.
Because that determines the outcome of this game.
It might.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They don't really wow, James Conner last game, 5 receptions for 80 yards.
Yeah.
From him in the past game. They don't really Marvin Harrison Jr. was still a great draft pick. Trey McBride's
Great.
still a great tight end, but they don't really have like a wide receiver identity, do they?
No,
Over
not.
there. It's
I think
kinda
it's clear that Marvin Harrison is the guy. Like he's the one to throw to if you're picking a wide
Yeah.
receiver. But it's like I just don't think that like Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch are good enough support for him.
Yeah.
I can't quite get on board with that. But Kyler has looked really good. James Conner's been great. Oh, sorry. James Conner's been great. Trey McBride, maybe a top 5 offensive tight end in the league.
Probably.
Receiving tight end, not obviously offensive tight end. He's a tight end, but receiving tight end. The Cardinals have what it takes to win this game for sure. Geno has certainly played them out of plenty of games this season, especially close games. Geno has kind of struggled at times. I want to say the Cardinals will win. I don't know what version of them we're gonna get. But
There have been a couple
same goes for the
versions.
Seahawks. I don't know what version
Yeah.
of the Seahawks we're gonna get.
I feel like the Seahawks are always good for like 20 points though.
Maybe.
Always good for like a 20-point game.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
They only put up 10 against the Bills. Otherwise, they have put up 20 at least every week.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think I've got an idea on my score.
It's going to be a good divisional game though, and I think I have an idea as well. Give me the Cardinals 23-20 over Seattle.
Okay. Give me Seattle 21-20.
No, you're not picking Geno. You don't like that guy.
I'm not
remember?
picking Geno. I'm picking DK Metcalf. I need him to have a good week.
Yeah. Well, hopefully JSN can get in there too, because my 3-8 ass definitely needs it.
JSN,
So,
more receiving yards than DK Metcalf this season.
no way.
Yeah. Well, DK also missed like 2 or 3 weeks, but still.
True.
Sunday Night Football, Eagles Rams.
I think this. No, don't. This one's gonna be.
I don't know. I don't know.
This one's gonna be entertaining.
I think Philly might just. Dude, the way that Philly's been coming out in some of these games just makes me think like nobody can beat them right now.
I don't know, because like
When Saquon
Rams
is
might be
rolling
5-.
like that, dude, it's so scary.
Yeah, he's been ridiculous on Philly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Then again, like if you have Puka and Cooper have a game like they did last week against New England,
Yeah, definitely. But
it's gonna be hard.
this Eagles defense has been unbelievable stopping the pass right now. Quinyon Mitchell looks like a dog. You got Cooper DeJean, DeJohn, whatever the hell it is, however you're supposed to say that. He's been great. Reed Blankenship, one of the best in the league right now at QB rating against. Like, this defense has been unbelievable stopping the pass. And this is the team that if you stop the pass against them right now, the run game isn't worth a shit for the Rams. So if you stop the pass right now, you've got a good chance of just blowing them out of the water.
That's a good point, but I don't know. I'm betting on Puka, Cooper, and Matthew Stafford just to kind of hang their balls out. Honestly,
Certainly could happen.
I think there's enough talent there to be able to perform well against any secondary in the league.
Yeah,
I really do.
I agree. I agree with that. They can. They're all still going to play well. It's just I don't know if they'll get like they'll be over that point of like, okay, you just can't stop them. I don't think they'll get to that point in this game.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough, but I think I'm going to pick the upset.
Okay.
One.
I'm
Yeah,
probably
I
still
really
going to
like
go
the
with the
Rams.
Eagles. I can't forget about how good Saquon Barkley is playing right now. It's
Makes me
hard.
sick.
It's hard to go against them right now with how good he's playing. I'm going to take the Eagles 28-24.
I'm going to take the Rams 31-28.
Wow. That's I don't even know if the Eagles have given up that many points yet this season.
Yet.
They have not. The most points they have given up this season is 29 to the Packers. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Bro, wait a minute. This Eagles team, they've played Atlanta, the Saints, the Buccaneers, Cleveland, New York, Bengals.
I get that.
Bro.
I understand this. Also, the
Oh,
Bengals,
God.
stopping the Bengals offense, not easy. Say that.
Yeah, but then again, the Bengals, like, their offense is insane. Don't get me wrong, but they've had games like 16-10 against the Patriots.
Yeah. I think I'm just enamored by the way that the Eagles played against the Commanders last week.
That's fair.
That might be the biggest thing. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Ravens Chargers. I'll be honest, I really like the Chargers. Just to start off the conversation, I really like the Chargers. Not just in this game, just overall.
Me too. And what's ridiculous is like, obviously this is a weekly podcast, right, Grayson? And
Sure
I think
is.
I literally brought
twice
up
a week.
Yeah, twice a week.
Mondays and Fridays,
Podcast.
YouTube,
No,
and
not a
anywhere that you
bi-weekly
get your podcasts.
Exactly. Nice plug. It's actually like, I literally think I talked about this last week. How the Chargers' record was kind of like meh. When did they get to 7-3?
They just keep winning.
So confused. It's they're unbelievable, and they're playing a Ravens team that maybe just kind of got exposed offensively. Probably not. I mean, it is.
No, it's just
it is
it's
against the
a different
Steelers.
type of defense.
That is true, but no, I'm with you, man. I like the Chargers. We get to see Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins go back to playing against their old team, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like they went head to head with the Bengals last week, and just flat out looked great. Even with Ladd McConkey going out in like the first quarter with an injury. They just they kept up with a Bengals team that has just been boat racing every week. It's just a race to the finish line. They showed up, and it was certainly a race to the finish line that game, but they got the win, and they've been putting up points. This 4-game winning streak that they're on has been amazing. Obviously, Saints, Browns, Titans, dog shit teams. Don't even try to argue those. Bengals, I think it's an impressive win. I don't know if I can take them fully seriously yet. Yes, they look great against the Chiefs, and they look great beating the Broncos. The thing is, it's just not. They haven't played the best of the best yet, outside of the Chiefs and the Steelers, which they lost to the Steelers. They look great against the Raiders and the Panthers and the Saints and the Browns and the Titans. And it's like, okay, well, those are like the 6 worst teams in the league.
You know what? They kept it close against Pittsburgh, and Justin Herbert did not play that entire game as
True.
well. I wanted to throw
that is
just
true.
to give LA some credit.
Yeah, I think the defense is fine. And the offense can be great, but it's not the kind of offense that's just going to put up 30 every week. It's the kind of offense that if
Nah.
you keep them in the game with you the whole time through, yeah, they'll put up the points that's necessary to win. But if you're, not necessarily pushing on them every single drive, they'll probably put up, 24 and just get a victory.
Yeah, I just can't believe Quentin Johnston. He has 6 touchdowns this year.
He's been great.
He's tied for 4th
Jim
in the
Harbaugh
NFL in
finally
touchdowns.
utilizing Quentin Johnson how he should be.
Fixed him.
Yeah.
Um, and then on Baltimore's side, look, Lamar Jackson just doesn't play well against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I feel like you
Steelers have a
can't
really
hold
good.
that performance against any Ravens players. It's so
That's
weird.
what I was just about to say. Like that rivalry game is just so bizarre. Nothing happens the way it's supposed to, except for Deontay Johnson looking like a complete
Dude,
idiot out there on the field.
he's
Love
got to
that.
he's got to just give up. He's so bad.
Just give up. He's horrible. But yeah, like the Ravens still like defensively probably had one of their better games
Yeah.
in a couple weeks because they've been kind of getting exposed, but they looked really good against Pittsburgh. Guys like Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton, they look great. So I don't know. I'm kind of expecting like if we have a typical game where LA ends up just running the ball a hell of a lot, with J.K. Dobbins, which they didn't really do much of last week because I think the Bengals were just so
Yeah, they were
high
in it the
powered
whole
that they
time.
kind of had to match that. That might be the case for this game as well, where we don't get to see a lot of J.K. Dobbins, but I'm hoping that we do.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good key to victory there.
I think we'll just kind of have to see. I'm sure this will be a high-scoring game. I can say that for sure. This Ravens offense goes crazy really every time. Like that's just kind of how they operate. Obviously not against the Steelers last week, but when, like I said, count that game out, they look great at all times. They've just been doing things right every single week. But the Chargers have looked good. I just don't know if this is the quality of opponent that the Chargers are ready for yet. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think it'll be kind of close. I'm going to go 28-27, so very close. But, yeah, I'm going to go 28-27
28-27.
Ravens.
I'm going to go this one's hard, Gray.
It's tough.
27-20 Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got 6 teams on bye. Like I said earlier, we got Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Saints, Jets, and Jaguars all on bye this week. And then next week is Thanksgiving. So we have a very fun slate to go over. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get into the MLB section of the episode. All right, now into the MLB. We're going to start off talking about some of the MLB awards that have been announced throughout this week. So we already kind of covered everything before Monday, but on Monday, we got the Rookie of the Years, AL Rookie of the Year. Kind of surprising to me was Luis Hill of the New York Yankees. I thought it was probably going to go to Colton Cowser, but not too mad about whoever. It didn't really matter who it was going to. I didn't think Wells would win it. I just don't think he had the offensive numbers to do so. But shout out to Luis Hill. What are your thoughts here?
Luis Hill was. I'm proud of him. He I feel like it's hard for a young pitcher in New York to succeed the way that he
Yeah.
did. I thought he was kind of an outlier. But he looked amazing. He was genuinely dominant when he hit the scene, and he kind of calmed down a little bit, but he was still, better than average.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that I can give to him. So.
Yeah, and then Paul Skeens gave us a viral moment when he found out that he won Rookie of the Year, which was that he just smiled. He cracked like a smile, and that was about it.
Yeah.
You had Livy Dunn like trying to give him a hug, and like she looked way more excited than him. So, yeah, but like everybody was kind of expecting that out of him. He was a dog this season. We all knew he was winning NL Rookie of the Year. I'm glad that it wasn't unanimous because I'm glad Jackson Merrill got some love. Jackson Merrill, I think, got 7 first place votes to Paul Skeens' 23. But I'm glad Merrill got some credit because I think he deserved it. But Paul Skeens, 11-3, 196 ERA, 170 strikeouts, and he didn't even pitch the full season. That's
insane,
that's
dude.
pretty insane.
I'm with you. Merrill had a good season, and I'm glad he got recognized for it by some people. So
Yeah. And then in your
yeah,
manager of the years, I think both of these were pretty obvious, at least in my opinion. Your AL manager of the year, Stephen Vogt. Your NL manager of the year was Pat Murphy for the Brewers. Stephen Vogt was just the obvious one.
shout out
Shout
to
out
Stephen
to
Vogt.
the AL Central. The four finalists, or the three finalists, were three AL Central managers. Pretty
Yeah,
insane.
I mean, but
You had
it
Vogt,
made sense.
Quatraro, and then AJ Hinch.
There was a lot of work to be done for those managers, for those
Yes.
teams, coming off of last season, and they all improved drastically.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
then for Pat Murphy, I kind of talked about why he should win it on Monday, but just to kind of talk about what he did, his team won 93 games. The year after they lost their ace or they traded away their ace, and they lost their manager to an in-division rival.
Yeah.
And Pat Murphy steps in and wins 93 games. That's huge. And
Massive.
they went off of a lot of young talent in this team. It's kind of a good mixture of young and veteran talent that came together and winning 93 games with that pitching rotation too. Insanely good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Cy Young Award winners came out on Wednesday. Tarek Skubal, my guy. My first time getting those predictions. Well, last year, I think I was right with Ronald Acuna. This year, my award prediction that Tarek Skubal won Cy Young did come true, which I'm glad about. Way more happy, though, that Chris Sale won Cy Young. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, imagine like 3 years ago, or maybe even like 4 years ago, being like, Chris Sale's going to win a Cy Young in 2024.
Yeah, and an NL Cy Young. If that 4 years ago, if you told me he's going to win
Yeah.
an NL Cy Young, I'd be like, no, he's not. But yeah, just insane. He's what, like 35 years old? Just and having like a career resurgence.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm
Yeah,
extremely
35.
happy for Chris Sale.
Me too.
Extremely
Obviously,
happy for
because
him.
I'm a Braves fan, but also just a fan of him. I've been a fan of his since he was in Chicago. Like, this guy is an animal. And
Yep.
18-3, his career high in wins. He led the MLB in ERA, 238. Led the NL in strikeouts, 225. Unbelievable season.
It's
Obviously, Tarek Skubal, unbelievable as well. I believe he had the AL Triple Crown. Or no, just the pitching Triple Crown. He had the league best ERA, strikeouts, and wins. Well, he was tied for the lead in wins, but still,
yeah.
Triple
It's
Crown.
good to see the Chris Sale that's not dismantling TVs and minor league dugouts. He's
Exactly.
just kind of he's good now. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then tonight, as we're recording, it's 6 p.m., the MVPs will come out. It's pretty obvious. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are going to be your two MVPs.
Yay, Aaron Judge.
Shohei, he's got no competition. Ketel Marte and Francisco Lindor are the two other finalists. There was nobody else to even talk about than Shohei. Obviously, he had potentially one of the best seasons of all time. With
You know what?
50,
I hope this award tonight goes to Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you
I
got to
do.
remember it's all regular season, nothing to do with the
I know.
playoffs.
But it should deal with the playoffs.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't want the MVP going in the hands of a guy who might just sign with the Mets, which is a fantastic segue to what we're about to talk about.
Not a good segue.
Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, is just, I'll say that he's taking the swinging dick approach to free agency with Juan Soto. He apparently, what Steve Cohen told Juan Soto in their meeting last week was that whatever any other team offers you, we will give you $50 more million.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So we're already talking about a guy who potentially is looking at a 600, 700, we've heard maybe $800 million contract. And if the Yankees offer him 800, the Mets are going to offer him 850. That's unbelievable. You can't turn that down. You can't.
I would like to see them outbid the Steinbrenners.
Steve Cohen is more than happy to outbid anybody. He's got, the second highest payroll, I think, in baseball?
Yeah.
And they're not even that great.
Like
this
that.
year they were good, but shit, I'll never forget him saying, when they traded away Scherzer and Verlander at the deadline last year, I'll never forget him being like, "We're gonna be built to win in 2026." Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess shout out to the Mets for making the NLCS. If they're going to be built to win in 2 years, maybe they'll get there. But looks like the thought amongst a lot of the insiders that Soto will have a decision made before winter meetings, which is December 9th. So we're gonna be getting
Oh, it's coming
we're gonna be getting
down.
something in like the next 2 weeks on the Juan Soto's deal. He's met, I think, with all
Yeah.
teams now, or maybe he's still. I think we might still be waiting on a Dodgers meeting. Was the only team I had seen that wanted to meet that hadn't.
Mhm.
So obviously the Dodgers could something could happen there. Who knows? Oh my god, if he goes to the Dodgers, dude,
I know.
it's unbelievable. But we'll have
But,
to just kind of wait around these next couple of weeks to see what Juan Soto's going to do. In the meantime, let's talk about Baltimore. It seems like they're going to be competing for most of the top starting pitching this offseason. That's what the conversations are. Obviously, they'd love to bring back Corbin Burns. Seems like he's the one. He's the number one guy. I would say he's probably the number one free agent pitcher, anyways. But for them to bring him back would be huge. I've seen Max Fried being linked to them. I've seen Blake Snell as well in conversations. They're also one of the many teams that not only is showing interest in Garrett Crochet, but I think has the right amount of talent and the right type of talent to give them quite an offer to get Garrett Crochet. So Baltimore is certainly going to be one of those teams that we hear littered in the starting pitching conversation of free agency. You just don't want to be the team that waits around for it. That's the big thing. And I think Baltimore
yeah.
is going to probably get a guy to jump on something at winter meetings, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I hope not, but
Yeah.
we'll see. They can have Corbin Burns back, but no one else.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
give him that.
looks like there's going to be a lot of movement in the closer market. A lot of guys with closing pitching experience. So free agents, Tanner Scott, Kenley Jansen, Blake Trinan, Clay Holmes, Carlos Estevez, Kirby Yates, and David Robertson, all free agents this year. That's
Yeah.
huge. But three big closers are also potential trade targets. Devin Williams is a big time trade target with the Brewers after they declined his team option and made him I believe they declined his team option, but he still has another year on his contract, I believe is how that
Mm,
contract was formatted. Um, and then Ryan Helsley, certainly, just about anybody that's on the Cardinals right now is a trade target. Um, Ryan Helsley, probably the biggest one. And then Kyle Finnegan
yeah.
for the Nationals, who was phenomenal this past season, is another guy who seems like could get traded this offseason. Just because I think the Nationals, yeah, it's great to have an elite closer, but they have things to work out in the lineup first before they start focusing on a bullpen. They need to be in more of a winning
Yeah.
situation before they're like, well, at least we have a great closer.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
haven't checked since last night to see if we've got any more rumors or anything that have come by, so I'll pull that up right now. But otherwise, I might just be done. Um, looks like there's a long list of teams that are just very much going to be prioritizing starting pitching, is what this is saying. I believe this is a John Heyman article, but they're saying the Dodgers, Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, Giants, and Mets are all teams you can expect to be very focused on starting pitching this offseason. Mets are interesting because if they're focused on Soto, it's going to be really hard if you don't get a decision out of him early because, you're looking at a Mets rotation that is going to, they're probably going to lose Manaya, Jose Quintana, and Luis Severino all to free agency. So they've got to go out and get somebody at the top end because pitching was something that was not great necessarily for the Mets. I think it was partially part of their downfall. They couldn't limit the Dodgers in that series whatsoever. So they definitely need to be focused on pitching. Another interesting report: Cody Bellinger is likely on the trade block. He exercised his player option for 2025, but the Cubs apparently want to trade him. Is what it looks like. So that's
Hmm.
definitely interesting when you throw a guy like that out, saying that you want to trade him. Certainly changes the way that some teams might view that. A lot of teams could use a center fielder / first baseman. He can still play first base too. Um,
Yep.
so to get that and a guy who's probably going to hit at least, 260, 275 probably get you 20 to 30 home runs. Like it's
Solid
a
player.
that's a big time thing to get. I think there's a lot of teams that would be interested. I'll say that I don't know of any teams off the top of my head necessarily, but I think there's a lot of teams that could be in the market for Cody Bellinger. That's about all I've got though. Not much going on in the MLB as per usual. It's just
Man, it's been a slow free agency.
yeah, it's just how this goes, man. I wish they'd just start free agency later. It does not need to start 3 days after the World Series concludes.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, not at all.
'Cause
Especially for the teams that were in the postseason too. It's
yeah,
just harder.
I think the only reason they even start it then is because they have the GM meetings at the same time. But it's like, why start free agency when only the GMs are together? What?
Yeah.
Just do it. Start free agency at like the end of November, and then you have like a week and a half, and then you go into winter meetings. Like, that makes way more sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's how it's been forever, but it just doesn't really make sense to just, oh, free agency's open. Let's sit around and wait for a month and a half or a month to have anything happen. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that does it for the MLB. So we will head over to the Premier League. I am excited for this weekend in the Premier League. There's not like a ton of necessarily big matchups, but we have a couple of good ones and a big storyline to follow for the rest of the season, really, which is Ruben Amorim's arrival at Manchester United, which begins this week. But to start, we're going to talk about Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, which these teams were certainly a topic of discussion last week when we were kind of doing our catch up on the table from the Premier League. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest tied on points right now. Only one goal, if goal differential divides them at the top. Arsenal at +6, Nottingham Forest at +5. These are two teams that are like, this is a detrimental game to the standings, no matter how you see it.
For sure. And Arsenal hasn't won a Premier League game in kind of a while.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
Either. Yeah,
been pretty
it's been
slow.
since
October 5th
trying to find their last one.
against
Yeah,
Southampton.
against Southampton. Yeah. And on the other side, Nottingham Forest have been really hot, really tough, like gritty defensive team. With an awesome striker in Chris Wood.
Yeah,
He's been tearing it up. But then again, like weird 3-1 loss to Newcastle
definitely. I will
recently.
agree.
That kind of that makes things a little bit interesting for Nottingham Forest coming into this game. But aside from that, they have looked great,
Yeah,
better than Arsenal.
yeah.
Recent,
I love what I'm
games.
seeing
So
from Nottingham Forest, and what I can say pretty convincingly is that I trust them to score goals a whole lot more than Arsenal right now. We talked about
that's a
them
good point.
quite a bit with between the Premier League and the Champions League stuff that we talked about last week, but Arsenal just simply not scoring a lot of goals. Yeah, they've scored 18 this season. I think a lot of that comes from like a few blowout wins that they had. Yeah, 4-2 over Leicester and 3-1 over Southampton. Certainly helped them out there. But as of recent, they can't score goals. They're not scoring in the Champions League either. There's nothing really telling me that like Nottingham Forest can't outscore them in this game, especially with Chris Wood, who, like you said, has been phenomenal this season.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think I'm ready to go ahead and give a score prediction for
Yeah.
this one. Give me 2-2 draw.
Okay. I'm gonna go Nottingham Forest 2-1. I'm not into what Arsenal's got going on right now. Not happy with Mikel Arteta at the moment. Um,
Yeah,
Next match,
fair.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a close one, but Man City versus Spurs probably deserves to be talked about every now and then. Spurs on weird form. They're winning some games that they maybe shouldn't win, and they're losing some games that they shouldn't lose. It's very odd. Like, they look at the last 4 games. They beat West Ham 4-1, which, they probably should win that game, but still, it's a big win. They lose to Crystal Palace 1-0. They beat Aston Villa 4-1, and then they lose to Ipswich 2-1. What the hell are they doing right now?
I have no idea.
And
They're
Manchester City's lost 2 straight, and it's to Bournemouth and Brighton.
yeah, man. And if you want to go back a little bit further, they've lost 4. Their last 4 matches they've lost.
Yeah.
Every single match.
Yeah. It's unreal. I just I can't wrap my head around what is going on right now.
No, I can't either.
But really, it's
Because I
for
mean, like
both of these
nothing has
teams.
really changed.
No,
Yeah,
no, nothing's necessarily changed. It's just like, yeah, there's some injuries that have caused some issues, and like got a pretty long injury list. Going into this one, you've got a lot of guys just doubtful, like Ruben Diaz, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish. Obviously, I think the big thing is that since Rodrigue went down, which he's out for the season, they just haven't looked right. And I think once again, it goes to prove like how much we take Rodrigue's impact on this lineup for granted. That guy really is the soul of this team. Like, for a long time, it was like, I think Kevin De Bruyne is. Like, Kevin De Bruyne kind of runs
yeah,
everything because he creates chances and blah, blah, blah. We saw him miss the beginning of last season. They didn't really miss a step. He came back. They were awesome. Rodri,
yeah.
we haven't seen miss time. He played like every single match last year in all competitions. This year, they open it up like what, 3 weeks or like a week into the Champions League, 2 weeks into the Champions League, he
Mhm.
tears his ACL. He's gone the rest of the season. And they lose their identity entirely.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane the impact he's had. What I will say on the Tottenham side, the defense is so banged up right now. Cristiano Romero is hurt. Mickey Van de Ven's been hurt. Still isn't back for another like probably 2 weeks. Um, it's very odd at the moment. I would say with both of these teams, they're both in really weird spots.
Yeah. Which actually, Christian Romero is back
Oh, he is. Okay, that's good.
for this game. But still, Mickey Van de Ven there as well. He won't be, and I don't know. Maybe Dominic Solanke is good, but maybe not exactly what you need
No.
at striker. And I think that their midfield kind of lacks as well. Their center mids. Bentancur also is found himself in some trouble
Yeah, red
for
card.
some racist
Or
remarks that
yeah,
he
not even a
made.
red card. It was like a 3-game suspension, I believe,
Yeah.
about Huangmin's
So
son
he'll
in
be
an
out.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah, not a good look
Um,
at all.
yeah, and very strange. Their last Premier League game against Ipswich, James Madison got like 6 minutes of playing time in a 2-1 loss.
Makes no sense.
Ipswich, very very weird. Um, so yeah, both these teams are kind of in shambles right now,
Yeah.
and I don't really know. I don't really know where to go. I still think Manchester City is the better team, but I just don't know. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row, Grayson.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. It's
So,
really bad right now.
yeah.
Pep Guardiola
um,
just re-signed through 2027 though. There was
hmm,
some suspicions he
interesting.
might leave, some suspicions he might take over some international jobs, but re-signed through 2027.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take Tottenham 2-1.
Okay. I'm going to take Manchester City 2-0. Um Mainly because I think with Pep getting that contract extension, it just kind of shores some things up a little bit for that team and really helps out
Yeah,
the morale. Because I do think that even like since before they've kind of hit this skid, the conversation has been about is Pep going to be there next year? And
yeah.
it kind of seems like that was maybe having a negative effect on that team. Okay, next game we'll talk about is on Sunday, Ipswich, Manchester United. Obviously, it's more just about Manchester United here. But, Ipswich could potentially win this game. Who knows? Um, I'll say this Ipswich, their leading goal scorer has 6 goals. Manchester United's leading goal scorer has 3. I can say
Let's
that.
go.
Um, it just seems like now that Ruben Amorim is there, should we immediately expect results? Or should we at least wait until he gets the January transfer window to potentially make some moves? Because I'm already seeing he wants a new left back. He's not dealing with Luke Shaw never playing games and how unfit he is. Because it's just it's not going to work in his system. Luke Shaw, he's got
Yeah,
to have pacey fullbacks in his system, and he just doesn't have that right now.
yeah. I don't know because Ruud van Nistelrooy came in, had a 5-2 win over Leicester, a 1-1 draw against Chelsea, a 2-0 win over PAOK in
Yeah.
Greece in the Europa League, and then a 3-0 win against Leicester in the Premier League. So I think maybe if Ruud van Nistelrooy did bad, I think you could kind of be like, okay, we'll wait for Emeren to, get more games, maybe that January transfer window, like you brought up. But I mean, the team is there. Like they have guys,
Yeah.
they have depth. So I think personally, I'll give him this game, but after that, he should have things figured out.
Yeah, I
I believe.
think
He
I
also
think he's got a lot of
I kind of
things
feel
to
like
choose. Like and like stepping in at an international break. I don't think a lot of his players went out on break. I think a lot of them got recalled. But stepping in during an international break when you're going to end up like these guys come back and you're not going to get a full experience out of these guys
yeah.
in training. It does kind of throw things off. I'm glad that some guys are getting back from injury. I think Kobe Mainu's going to be back for this one. I know this says he's doubtful, but I think he'll be
Finally.
back. Crazy. Lenny Yoro is back in training. Might see him finally after an early season injury.
Yeah.
Tiro Malasio's back in training, which is we've been waiting for that one for like a year.
Yeah.
So that one might help. I think there's just like we'll have to see what happens because sometimes just teams don't quite look themselves when they come back from an international break. If a lot of guys were out playing, so I'll give him a long leash this week, but I need to see how it looks on the field first, and then I'll start to
And
judge how I want to how my expectations look for him.
yeah, and I think another thing that we have to take into account for is Manchester United's first game, where they with Ruud van Nistelrooy was on October 30th.
Yeah.
So before then, we already knew that Emeren was going to be manager and was going to take over.
Hmm.
So obviously, with him still having games with with Sporting, I don't believe that he was probably all focused on Sporting. I think in his free time, he was probably thinking about how he would line up his new team. There's
Definitely.
no way that he wasn't thinking about it. So, kind of taking that into account as well, it's almost been a month since
Yeah,
he's found out the news to actually like getting to the team. He should already kind of have an idea of what's going to happen and what he's going to do.
I agree.
So, honestly, taking back what I said earlier, I expect Ruben Amorim to be in full effect immediately. Now, what that's going to look like, I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. I
So,
I don't know if we're gonna get the result, or at least Manchester United fans aren't gonna get the result they desire here. I just don't think you will. Um, I'm not saying you're gonna lose to Ipswich. I just look Ipswich, they give up goals, which is certainly plays in their favor. And Manchester United have been scoring goals, but that was under Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think I'm going to give Manchester United the benefit of the doubt. I think they'll have a little bit of a boost, morale wise, like they had with Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in. I think they'll have a bit of a boost just tactically because obviously we know that Eric Ten Hag was just not good as a manager. Um,
yeah.
so I'm sure they'll score some goals. I'm going to give them a 2-1 win over Ipswich. It's maybe not the result you want, but you're away, and this is a start to hopefully a new era. We'll see what that era looks like.
We've been saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually going to match you on that. I was thinking the same thing. 2-1 win for United.
Okay. Well, the rest
Yeah.
of the matches this weekend, not too much to write home about. You got Leicester versus Chelsea, the first one of the week at 7:30 Eastern time. I'm sure Luke will not be getting up for that one on Saturday.
Now, I'll get up at like 10 a.m. and watch the highlights.
Yeah, and at that time you could watch 5 games simultaneously. You've got Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Brighton, Everton, Brentford, and Fulham versus Wolves, all at 10 o'clock. Then at 12:30 you got Man City versus Spurs. On Sunday, Southampton versus Liverpool, Ipswich versus Man United. Then we do have a Monday match, Newcastle versus West Ham. So lots of soccer to watch this weekend, but we got lots of soccer to watch midweek next week with the Champions League coming back. They took a 2-week break this time around. It felt like it didn't even stop at all for some reason. But 2 weeks off now, or 2 weeks in the middle, and we'll be resuming play Tuesday, November 26th. So next Tuesday. And not the best week, certainly not the worst. I think there's a number of games that have turned into good matchups in this week that we might have not anticipated early in the season. So just to run through the first couple that are not good, Bratislava versus Milan, Sparta Praha versus Atleti,
Yay.
and Man City versus Feyenoord. I don't see us seeing much happening there. Bayern Munich versus PSG is certainly an interesting one because both these teams need to get right. If you missed last week or haven't seen the tables, PSG currently in the elimination zone. Bayern Munich certainly not in the spots they want to be in right now after some losses that they should not have had, honestly. I'm interested to see who kind of comes out and looks good in this one.
Yeah. No, me too. They both definitely have something to prove and play
Yes.
for here.
Yes.
So yeah.
I think PSG is trending in the wrong direction right now as a squad. Like as a team right now, none of the players are really jumping off the page to me right now. It doesn't. I'm not sure if I have confidence in Luis Enrique as much as I did at least last year.
Yeah.
I think missing Mbappe is a big deal. Obviously, he's one of the best strikers in the world, but you're clearly struggling a little bit without him. Maybe not in Liga, but that's a little bit easier to do. Next good match as well, Inter versus Leipzig. Leipzig, we've talked about over and over and over again how bad they've been. Inter, one of the best defense teams we've seen at all in the Champions League, one of the only teams that has held a clean sheet in all 4 matches. Leipzig needs to get right. This is a chance. This is an Inter team that's not scoring goals, but they will stop you from scoring goals. Even if you get away with a 0-0 draw here, it's a win for Leipzig. Is kind of the way that I'm looking at this match. The next one, Barcelona versus Brest. Things can get weird here. I'll say that. Brest has been awesome. Barcelona scoring just an unbelievable amount of goals. So things could just get interesting here. I'm sure we'll just get the entertainment out of that one.
Did you see the clip of Micah Richards laughing at Brest?
I would assume
remember
because
exactly,
of the name.
Yeah. Like Thierry Henry, he was like, Brest, something's just not right. And then they just went quiet for a second. And Micah literally lost his mind. Just died laughing.
Hilarious. He's
I'll have
awesome.
to show you that video.
Love those guys.
He is awesome. They're all awesome.
Yeah. You got Leverkusen versus Salzburg this week. Gross.
Ooh.
Sporting versus Arsenal. Interested to see what Sporting comes out looking like. I can't remember who it is that has come in at manager. Let me see. Who came in? It is.
Isn't it Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh God, this is a tough name to pronounce. Jan. I don't know. He's got to be from a Scandinavian country. There's a lot of letters with special symbols.
I'm coming to your aid right now.
If I had to guess, it is Jan Og Fjørtoft. Fjørtoft. That's probably entirely wrong.
I'm seeing Yao Pereira.
Okay, maybe that is who it is. I don't know. Oh no, that's just the guy talking about Ruben Amorim. That's just some dude's name. It's not even the guy that's replacing. I typed in Sporting manager, and all of it is just Ruben Amorim. Well, I don't care.
Yeah. All right. So Sporting does not have a coach anymore.
Yeah, that's all I know.
They'll be led by second and short against
correct.
Arsenal in the Champions League.
Wait, hold on. The UCL website might just say who it is. I didn't really think about that part.
Yeah, I really want to figure this out.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. I'm just fuck this, dude. Come on.
Who is our manager?
We've got to know. Thiago Teixeira. Maybe. That's just the name that's the name that's listed that I saw.
That's what I see as well. Okay, so Thiago Teixeira is a film producer.
Yes.
Who is this guy?
No, Thiago Teixeira is the manager of the U23s. Hold on. What the fuck? Who is managing this team?
Moved up?
Maybe.
I bet he just got moved up.
Okay. Yao Pereira, you're right. Yao Pereira is going to replace Ruben Amorim, is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Why is that so difficult?
What Scandinavian name did you see?
I don't know, dude. I think it was just the reporter that wrote an article about it, but it just showed his name and then said something about like replacing Ruben Amorim.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm excited to see what Sporting has. Arsenal hasn't been good in the Champions League, so they could come out and maybe get another win. Um, yeah, Young Boys versus Atalanta as well on Tuesday. Then you move over to Wednesday. Got a couple stinkers to start it off. Red Star Belgrade versus Stuttgart. Sturm Graz versus Girona. But then Liverpool, Real Madrid. Definitely highly anticipated, especially if Real Madrid has started to figure out whatever the fuck has been going on with that team, primarily with
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe. Because
Yeah.
Liverpool, like we said last week, Liverpool is probably the best team in the world right now. And
Yep.
Real Madrid is probably a top 4 team, but they've got to put it all together if they want to contend here with Liverpool.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. It's UCL rematch from the final a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, which is interesting. And yeah, I expect Liverpool to win this game. Real Madrid are hitting kind of a brick wall here. A team that doesn't really have to make any changes. A team that's kind of already figured out probably what they're going to do for the rest of the season, while Real Madrid probably still need to figure that out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where we're going to see a discrepancy between these two teams.
Agreed. All right. We got a couple of bad ones to go through real quick. PSV versus Shakhtar. Dinamo Zagreb versus Dortmund. Celtic versus Club Bruges. Monaco versus Benfica is two teams that have been unbelievably underrated in the Champions League this year, and I'm excited to see what they both have to offer. Monaco hasn't played a very strong schedule to this point. We talked about it last week. Benfica has just kind of done their thing throughout this, and I'm pretty excited to see what these teams have to offer. Benfica maybe wants to be a little bit in a better position than they are right now. Through 4 games played, they've only got 6 points. Monaco, on the other hand, third in the rankings or third in the table with 10 points through 4 matches is huge. So we'll see if Monaco can keep things going. But I think Benfica is certainly more than capable of beating them.
Yeah. I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And then we got
They seem
Aston.
very even.
Yeah. We've got Aston Villa versus Juventus as well, which I don't really know what to expect right now. Juventus has been a little bit weird. I don't
So is
know.
Aston Villa though.
Yeah, definitely. Aston Villa has been weird as well. I don't know if Thiago Motta exactly has the squad he's looking for tactically with Juventus yet. I don't know if he really walked in and had the players that he was looking to have. I'll give him that right now, but there are still certainly a lot of things that he could be figuring out with the guys that he has.
Yeah, maybe a big January transfer window for Juventus for sure.
Potentially. And then Bologna and Lille is our final match for this week in the Champions League. So a number of very good matches to look out for. Just got a couple that could maybe go either way, but nonetheless, it's midweek soccer. There's nothing better, and it's all at like a reasonable time. That's the best part. We're not having to get up at 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning to watch these matches on like a Sunday morning. This is 3 p.m. on a Tuesday and a Wednesday for half these games. It's pretty nice. That's
Yeah.
doable. All right. Well, that's the Champions League, so you know exactly what time it is. And shout out to Nathan. I texted him.
Oh, he came through.
I texted him right before this podcast started. I didn't say a word to him at all. I did not follow up with him at all. And look at this. He shows up in the clutch with the questions. How about it? How about it? And not only that, they're music questions.
Oh,
We literally were just joking. I was joking about how we're going to have a music discussion as we typically do whenever we don't have a lot of questions. Literally, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shout out to Nathan. So yeah, we got quite a few music questions here. What are you listening to at the moment? Broad question. Obviously,
broad question.
I always have to pull my phone out here.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, it's pretty obvious right now. It's been a lot of country music in the rotation for me. Been kind of what I've been stuck on recently.
Today I listened to Jacquez's new album.
Oh, okay.
Been listening to Christmas music. Let's see the name of this Jacquez album real quick. Baby Makin'.
Nice.
Of course, very very Jaquez of Jaquez to make
Yeah.
his album Baby Making. Yeah, I mean that's really been it. I've been listening to a lot of like Wham and George Michael. Of course, I still got my Latin music as well.
Mhm.
Just a little bit of everything for me.
Yeah, I've really been
Yeah.
liking Wyatt Flores' newest album, "Welcome to the Plains." Been a big fan of that one since it came out, I think 2 weeks ago. Um, Shout out to um, Cody Johnson's "Leather." That album won CMA Album of the Year last night. Pretty happy about that.
Mm.
But yeah, I've just been listening to country music. I've been watching Yellowstone. I finished 4 seasons in 2 weeks. um,
Damn.
yeah, it's been a pretty good binge, I'll be honest. Actually, it was less than 2 weeks. It was like a week and a day, so 8 days. I finished 4 seasons in 8 days.
God.
Yeah, bad. It was bad. Nonetheless, it's made me want to listen to even more country music because they have such a fantastic soundtrack in that show. It's like
Mm. I've never
every
seen it.
episode starts with a good country song, ends with one, and like multiple moments throughout each episode. There's some good country music playing. So love that.
Yeah.
Yellowstone is awesome. About to start season 5. Probably like within the next like 2 days, I'll start watching season 5. Um, who is your most underrated artist? What are you thinking?
Wow.
If we're gonna talk about ones that like I'm listening to actively that I think are underrated, it might be a little bit tougher. Just mainly because I don't listen to like a lot of small country music necessarily.
Yeah, I can spit some. Sade, I think is
Yeah,
underrated.
very good.
High Dollar Sign, very underrated rapper.
That's
I
fair.
pretty much love anything that he's come out with. And there's this guy I like. I've never known how to say his name, but it's Achal with a dot between the A and the C. Um, it's A dot Chow.
Okay.
He is nice. And a lot of people haven't heard of him, but I actually kind of hit his scene when he came out in like 2016 with Welcome to Ghazi was his album.
Okay.
And yeah, he's always been one of my favorites. He does a lot of Spanglish. He's
Yeah.
from California. He's a Peruvian American, and he sings in English and Spanish. He's very good. He's like R&B.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to dip back into something that an artist that I talked about maybe a couple weeks ago, um, which is Griffin William Sherry. He had an album that came out, I believe, 2 months ago now, called 100 Mile Wilderness, and I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna go back to him for my most underrated artist, at least the ones that I'm listening to right now. There's a lot of like rappers and stuff that I had listened to in the past. Shout out to Leon Thomas. He dropped a fantastic R&B album. I think last week. I haven't totally delved into it. It might actually have already been out for a few months. That I just discovered it like last week. If you guys don't know who Leon Thomas is, you actually probably do. He was Andre in Victorious on Nickelodeon. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
and then he was also one of the voices of one of the Backyardigans. I didn't know that until like a few months
I didn't
ago.
know that either.
Yeah. So shout out to Leon Thomas.
Great
Not
role.
only fantastic and victorious, one of the best characters, but unbelievably good R&B album that he put out. It's great. The song Mutt is awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Next thing. What is a song you could listen to no matter the season or situation?
Satisfy My Soul by Bob Marley.
Nice. Mine is so different. Mine is Raph, by like all like ASAP Mob, Playboy Cardi, all of them.
Yeah. Rev Simmons. All kind of
Fantastic.
crazy color.
I will go to my grave saying that is the best song
That was a good album.
ever.
That was a really good album.
Yeah. Dude, all those ASAP Mob albums were so good.
Yes.
Oh my
They really were.
god.
Dude, actually, what are you listening to at the moment? Last week, I listened to ASAP Ferg's new album, and it's really good.
Yeah, I think he's just Ferg now. I don't think he's ASAP anymore.
What?
Yeah. That was a big deal.
Let me double check.
That was a big thing.
He still released it under ASAP Ferg.
Okay. Okay. Because I think there was some big time beef that happened a number of years ago. He
Huh.
might still be
Yeah,
going
I
by
might
the
have to do
name, but
more
I don't know
research
if
on.
he identifies with the rest of the guys.
Yeah. Hmm.
Nonetheless,
Interesting.
ASAP Ferg, love ASAP Ferg.
Yeah.
Some
Me too.
all-time bangers. All-time
Shabba.
bangers. Yeah. Um, let's see.
Oh man.
What artists do most people enjoy but you don't?
I could Kodak Black, 21
I'm a
Savage.
21 Savage guy. I love
Yeah,
21.
I'm starting to come around again on Playboy Cardi, but
That's good.
overall,
Okay.
people think this guy is like the second coming, and he's just not.
Okay.
He's
So I
just
I
not.
like Cardi sometimes. Every now and then I like his music. I can't really get into all like the opium guys. It just simply is not my thing. Ethan
Uh,
listens to it. I can't I think I was in and out of like rap music right at the right time, in my opinion. I think I got in right at the right time. I got in like right when Kendrick Lamar like started getting hot. That's when I got into rap music.
yeah,
I got out like recently in like the last like 2 years. I think it was the right time. I still listen.
yeah.
I still go back and listen, but I stopped seeking out new rap music within like the last probably year, 2 years.
Yeah. I would also say, and this is going to be like some big names that I'm about to drop. Tyler the Creator, I don't really seek out
I do.
his music like people do. Also, Lil Wayne is not all that.
Whoa. Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right. Chill.
I'm gonna be honest.
Chill.
Yeah,
Nah. Lil Wayne
I don't.
is one of the best of all time.
I I like him and I like Tyler, but I never have really like seeked out their music or anything.
That's fair. I think at some point in my life, I revisited a lot of
Seek
Lil
out.
Wayne. So, like, I know a decent amount of his music. He's not like my favorite of all time, but he's definitely one of my favorites. Um, and with Tyler, I always liked his really old stuff just because like it's more comedic, in a sense.
Mhm.
I like the subject matter of his newer albums. Like it's really good and he conveys it really well, but like sonically, it's not necessarily what I'm looking for in his music anymore. Because he was doing just a little bit more in your face kind of music,
Yeah,
and now it's a lot more. And I think it sounds better. It's just not what I'm looking for from him. But
yeah.
that's just me. I like his music. I like this newest album. Chromacopia is good. It's just not what I liked about Tyler the Creator when I first discovered
Mhm.
him. Country music artists that I don't listen to or that that most people enjoy that I don't. Zach Bryan. I'm just not a Zach Bryan guy.
I didn't know that. I thought you liked him.
He's all right. It's not really.
Yeah,
I think I have like 4 or 5 of his songs that I like. Otherwise, like I don't listen to the whole albums. I don't really care for him.
yeah. I've heard that he's really good with all the women that he's been with.
Yeah, yeah, great guy is what I'm hearing.
Top tier guy, Zach Bryan.
Asshole. Just like
Total dickhead.
the worst actually.
Yeah, total fucking
I've done like
dickhead.
done like a full 180 on Morgan Wallen. I liked it for a little bit. I'm out. I can't do it anymore.
See, I'll always like Morgan.
Just
I
not
think he's pretty good.
not my thing. Okay. Next thing. Can you give us an artist recommendation of what you enjoy and tell us the top 3 songs to listen to? I like that.
That's a good one. Um,
I want to try and
damn.
find something that like not a lot of people are really in on. Trying to think cuz like if I'm going for something that like I don't think the people listening right now have listened to, I would probably go towards like I think Burna Boy's discography is a very fun. It's a super fun artist to get into, especially if you've never really gotten into Afro beats. And I think he has a lot of music that is like a really good introduction to it. That still involves like rap music.
Okay.
Like I think he's a fun
Yeah.
one to delve into if you've never done it before. Is kind of the way I would put it.
Um, is that your answer, or were you gonna?
I think I'd probably go with Burna Boy. I can find a top 3 um in a second.
I'm gonna go out there. I think, Grayson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you haven't already, um, listen to Alice in Chains.
Nice. That is a good choice.
Yeah. They are obviously coming out of like that Seattle grunge movement with like Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
Mhm.
Um, they have a lot of good songs. There and behind like Lane Staley's voice is a lot of like drug abuse and just like real mental shit going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really like that heavy type of music and the way that I guess like some of those bands go about conveying that emotion, but Lane Staley doesn't really have a yell where it's like up in your face. It's kind of like the yell of a person who's like I don't know, like a call for help
Mhm.
almost. In his music, like it's a very emotional, but like angry yell
Okay. Yeah,
that
I
he
I get what you're
does.
saying.
So my top 3 songs with Alice in Chains. Listen to Love Hate Love. And then we're gonna go over to the Dirt album. Um, let's see. Listen to Down in a Hole. And uh, actually, you know what? Scrap that. Listen to still Alice in Chains, but
Okay.
listen to their MTV Unplugged in the '90s that they did. That would be a better thing to
Nice.
listen to. Obviously, it's like a whole concert. It's a lot
Yeah.
longer than 3 songs, but it's just them sitting down and playing some of their music, and they did a pretty good job
Okay.
with that. So
I've got
yeah,
one more that I want to do. I think Billy Strings is a fun artist to get into. It's like a soft
never heard of him.
introduction into bluegrass music. Um, that I think is awesome. And I think with Billy Strings, you probably like most people probably haven't heard of him. If you listen to a lot of modern country music, you've probably heard either you've seen him featured, but you haven't heard him sing because he's a fantastic guitarist. Like, he was featured on Post Malone's F1 Trillion album that he just put out. He's featured on like a couple Luke Combs songs, a number of other artists he's done work with. But I would say, you can't really go wrong with anything that's on Highway Prayers, his newest album. I think all of it is fantastic. I think 7 Days in County is probably one that I would go with. In the Clear, the other. And then I would go back to like some of his old stuff. Dust in a Baggie from 2016. Fantastic song by him as well. So I think Billy String's a fun one that's like a good, for some people that, maybe you're into pop country music or pop, just like popular country music in general. If you're into that and you haven't really gotten into like bluegrass, I think he's a good one to get into. Um,
Okay.
all right, last or second to last, I guess. If you wrote a song about your life, what would you title it? I have no idea.
Mm.
Why does he always ask these introspective questions? Because I feel like this is one of those questions where like you have to think about your life.
Which is fucking scary sometimes.
Yeah, especially when we're 2 hours into this
Uh,
podcast.
um, I would. Hmm. I have no idea. Like, I have a direction that I
Yeah,
want to go in. I just can't think of words to convey that. Hmm.
I don't think I've lived enough.
Is that what? That's the title.
No, oh, maybe actually that's not bad. I think that's good. Okay. I was just kind of saying, like, I don't know if I could make a title out of something like I'm, hopefully not even halfway there.
Hmm. Yeah, I have no idea. I can't
Okay.
think of one.
Fair enough.
My
Uh,
bad.
there's a bonus. If either of you can guess what the last song Nathan listened to, he will Venmo you $5. And Nathan
Jack
does not listen
Johnson,
to music at all.
no. Upside Down by Jack Johnson.
Um,
He showed me that song, by the way.
you'd never heard that song?
I was playing different Jack Johnson songs, like maybe like Banana Pancakes or something. He's
Yeah.
like, he did Curious George, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then he showed me, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
an
know this was
amazing
Jack
song.
Johnson. It is.
God, I know that I haven't ridden in a car with Nathan playing the music in a while. Man, I've got no idea. Sometimes he will only listen to like one artist, and that one artist is Noah Khan. He will only listen to him, and that's it. But that was like a year ago, so I don't know. Like,
Noah Khan is buns.
I think he's fine.
I'm not a Noah Khan guy.
Yeah.
I have another guess though. One More Time by Daft Punk.
Nice. That definitely didn't come on. I'm gonna go with
We'll
just a
get that.
dumb
We'll
fucking
get it.
guess. And I'm gonna go with "I Spy" by Kyle and Lil Yachty.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's some shit he
knows
plays.
that song.
That's some shit he
Yeah.
plays. I Nathan, I don't care how you feel about this. I think you have, not only do you not care about music, you have the worst taste in music.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I would go as far as to say Nathan not only doesn't, it's not that he has the worst taste in music, he has no taste in music. Like, it's not even that, like, he likes bad, like, music that I don't like or something. I don't know if he likes any music. He just puts up with some of it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. Especially when,
That's
like,
funny.
he's around me and you a considerable amount. And we have extremely, not just like deep, but diverse tastes in music. Like, me and you together cover quite a lot of ground in music.
We do. We really do.
So for Nathan to just not, like, I don't know if he doesn't enjoy any of it or he just won't soak it up. Like, I don't know what it is, but he has just like no taste in music at all.
See, going back to our taste, I feel like you and I really connected with that Ocean Alley album, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I love them.
I
They
just
are
respect the
fantastic.
fact that me and you can put each other onto stuff that maybe we wouldn't typically listen to. Like, I put you onto like
Yeah,
Thames.
like, oh,
And that just was not
Tim's is,
really like, it's not out of your range, but I think it was just an untapped part of something you would enjoy.
yeah, it was like Tim's is kind of like a Afro SZA.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah,
opinion.
I
And
agree.
I love SZA. So Tim's kind of hits that. But one of my favorite songs that I actually listened to recently that you showed me was that Denim with Joey Badass and
Oh, yeah.
whoever
I think
the
that's
other guy.
is that IDK or is it JPEG Mafia?
I have no idea. I can't think of it.
I can't remember. I'll be honest, that's not like a song that I remember that much. Like, I know
love that song.
I know that it was in my playlist for a while and like I listened to it quite a bit, but it's
Yeah.
not like one that stuck with. Yeah, it's IDK and Joey Badass.
IDK. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to bounce off of that by saying if you're someone that's tired of rap music in 2024, go listen to Joey Badass's discography.
Yeah.
You will not that's a very interesting like take on rap music.
I think in general, you don't have to keep looking for new music now.
No.
There's enough music out there where,
No.
like, if you don't like what's being put out, go back. Dude,
It's fun to
every
go
now and
back.
then I just have like these random resurgences where, like, I'll just go back and like listen to Culture One. Or like
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
and I enjoy the shit out of it. It's not like I put it all in my playlist again or anything, but I listen to the album.
Yeah.
It hits. Every song hits. And I move on. And I go to a different album. And like I'll go back and I'll enjoy, like, just for a random example, I'll go back and I'll enjoy like a slow tie album, which I think is an artist you probably would never get into. I think I tried to play some songs of his for you, but I don't think it ever stuck, which I don't blame you. I don't think you're a British rap guy at all.
Oh, I can't stand
Yeah.
British rap. Mm-mm.
I love
I do like
good.
Skepta. Some of
Yeah.
the Skepta stuff has been good.
Skepta,
Yeah.
Stormzy, it's the way to go. Dave scratches the itch every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But no,
just
going
it's nice to go back and listen to old music.
It is, and I wanted to kind of sympathize with you there because of ASAP Ferg's new album that came out last week. I listened to it, and then I went back and listened to Trap Lord, which was like his
Yeah.
2013 album with like Shabba and Work on there, and it's still like amazing. So yeah, if you're ever bored of music, just go back and listen to like one of your favorite
Dude, I
albums, like
liked
from a while ago.
Ferg had an album, I wanna say he dropped in, like, 2021? Maybe it's 2019?
I don't
That I
remember any Ferg
liked,
in
and I
2021.
don't remember why. Like,
Was
I
it the one with Plain Jane?
no, it was after Plain Jane.
Okay, we got Floor Seats in
Yeah,
2019.
Floor Seats. That was it, 2019.
I've never heard this
I kinda liked it.
before.
There was, like, it wasn't the best, but I liked it. Yeah, Floor Seats 2 in 2020, that's what it was.
Oh, so the second installment.
Yeah, Floor Seats 2 in
He has a
2020.
song called Marilyn Manson with Marilyn Manson?
Yeah. A lot of good songs on this song.
That's insane.
I like Aussie Freaks is great if you like drill, like New York drill. Mask is a good one with Antha, I think is how you say that, or Antha.
Oh, who's the feature on Hectic, Grayson?
Sorry.
Go back to that album and tell me who the feature on the song
Oh
Hectic
shit. Oh, the diddler. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Never even thought about that. I don't think I even heard that one song off the album.
Sure.
Yeah, like I
It's
said,
his favorite one.
it's fun to go back and listen to music that maybe you just missed. Like that's buying like half my country music I listen to is just music that came out before I was alive and I never heard until now.
Yeah.
It's just like I keep discovering like I thought I knew like a lot of popular songs by like George Strait and Alan Jackson. And it's like every week I find songs of theirs I've never heard that are awesome. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Because like people back in the day were just pumping out music.
Tell me about it.
Now, like
Yeah.
nowadays, people are sitting here still waiting on a Frank Ocean album. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Another artist that did that, Elvis. Elvis was just a machine
Yeah,
of music.
yeah. Well,
Machine of music.
I think it was just because like that was the only thing for them to do. All their only responsibility was make more music so that they could go out on and tour this album.
Make money.
Yeah, the only way you were making money was making music and going on tour.
Yeah.
Whereas like half the artists are also doing like fashion and they're also doing this and a podcast and a blah like
Mm-hmm.
it's all this shit that like yeah, it makes you money, but fuck, just make music. That's what people like you for in the first place.
Yeah.
I think at this point, Frank Ocean fans, including myself, big Frank Ocean fan, you're not even waiting anymore. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, whatever. I guess I'll have to live with 2 albums.
Yeah. It's brutal, man.
Yeah, it's insane. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. It's actually a pretty quick episode. Only 2 hours, 3 minutes into this one.
Okay.
Yeah, very fun episode. Covered a lot of things. Very excited for some NFL football tonight. Got a couple hours till that game starts. Just a lot going on, and of course, obviously, I'll remind you guys again: no episode next Friday, no college football show next week. Live stream Wednesday, 4 p.m. right here on the Second Short YouTube, right here in studio. Me, Luke, and Colin all together. First time in months that's happened. First time in quite a while we've had the three of us all in the studio at the same time. So certainly something you don't want to miss. So check that out, 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Luke, what you got for the people before we get out of here? This is your last normal episode for a couple weeks.
For a minute, yeah. Go check out the college football episode that just dropped today.
Shout out. Thank
As
you.
you're listening to this yesterday. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Shout out Grayson for the college football episode. Go watch it.
Yes,
Not
sir.
yesterday.
All right. Well,
So,
guys.
You're already late.
Yeah. All right. I will catch you guys on Monday for me and Colin to recap NFL Week 12 and college football Week 13. And then we will all see you right here live on YouTube, 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Me, Luke, and Colin. We'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football. Peace.